Who cares about variety? I only care about health. That's the only important thing, really. I mean, our ancestors, they didn't sit there and go, oh, we need more variety in our diet. No, 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 no. They said we need food. Alright, so let's start out with two things. The first one is always ferment your milk. There's no reason not to do so. Okay, there's going to be a difference in the nutritional value of the milk. Of course, you're going to have less carbohydrates, and if you're really interested in carbohydrates and growth in general, then don't ferment it. But I, as an example, have a milk allergy. If I drink too much milk, I get intestinal spasms. I have a true raw milk allergy. I don't just have an intolerance or anything like that. So I actually need to ferment it. Nowadays it's better because I've been drinking it for 2 years. So if I drink non-fermented raw milk, I can handle it, but no more than like maybe this much at the time. If it's like more than this several times in like 2 hours, no, that wouldn't work. But as I'm drinking this, it's getting better and better. The second thing is, whenever you're eating a meal, you want the thick stuff with the meal, because the thick stuff is harder to digest than the whey. The whey is runny, like water, so it's going to pass through very quickly and it's going to dilute your stomach acid more. It's not as bad as water, of course. It's much better than water because it contains bacteria and it is acidic, so there's not as much of a dilution. But if you use the casein instead, you're going to go further because that's more of a solid food, so it won't really have any negative effect on your digestion because it's not going to make everything that's in your stomach more watery, so to speak. And the last thing, I said two things, but we're going to go with a third one. Drink slowly. Like, as you can see, I'm not rushing with this glass and I'm not chugging it. If I take a sip, it's like I'm taking very small amounts of milk and swallowing them. Whenever I consume it slowly, there's not as much pressure on my stomach, so to speak. It's like nothing is there at all. It's like there isn't that much to process. I almost always do a glass of raw milk, fermented raw milk of course. I don't drink anything else in the morning to prepare for digestion. I mean, you've got a train of fermented raw milk going down your digestive system. It gives you bacteria, it sucks up certain things, it gets things moving, it prepares your body for the other food that's coming. In the morning, whenever I'm not eating any raw meat meal, where I just want hydration, I want the more watery stuff so that I don't have to consume it once I'm eating meat. I want the thick stuff when I'm eating meat. If you spit in raw milk before you ferment it, it always tastes better. People only talk about digestion and this and that, but trust me, you know when you sneeze and it smells really nice because it's your own bacteria? Well, it's the same effect with this. If you want to taste that stuff, if you want to taste your own bacteria, and your own bacteria will taste absolutely delicious because it's the most natural thing to your body you could ever consume, really. Your own bacteria, come on. It's got your own bacterial DNA in there. You might be thinking, all finished up by the way, why haven't I eaten 10 raw eggs yet? Or 20 raw eggs, because that's usually what a raw primal dieter does in the morning. Well, you see, I was a vegan for 2 years and I developed an egg intolerance. So whenever I eat an egg, I get an itchy throat, my eyes turn red, I can barely breathe through my nose, and so on and so forth. I react to it really, really, really badly. And when that goes away eventually, you know, I'll be putting in 2 eggs in every glass. I don't even have to blend it, I'll just boop, boop, put it in, crack them in, drink it up. And that's what I recommend that you do, because you just get extra nutrients. Now I'm preparing the first meal. Just to be safe, I always scrape the surface of the butter, just a little bit. You never know what they put in that paper. It might be chlorine, it might be bleached. See, it's just a little bit. You're not really losing that much. Moving on to the meat, obviously the same principle applies. We need to scrape the meat to remove any plastic residues, and in the long run, this is definitely worth it. Alright, so here we've got the first meal of the day. We've got some raw ground beef for cellular regeneration, protein needs in general, so that we can build cells basically. We have protein needs and we need to meet them. And this is raw butter, contains a bunch of fat-soluble vitamins, but most importantly, this helps us meet our fat needs. Remember, if you don't reach your fat satiety in every meal, then you're not eating enough fat. Naturally, I'm going to be drinking some raw fermented milk with this meal. This is like 2/3 of a cup, or in the correct system, 2 deciliters. Alright, so this is cucumber. I peeled it for 2 reasons, because the skin is hard to digest. I believe it's not the fruit itself, the skin that is of the cucumber. I believe it's vegetation, so it contains cellulose that you can't break down. We can't break down cellulose, so we peel it, because this stuff can actually be utilized, while the skin cannot, so we remove it. And the thing is, the cucumber was packaged in plastic, and so to remove any plastic residues, you can just peel it. And this goes for any other fruit that has plastic residues on it or is sprayed. Just peel it, like an apple for example. You don't need to peel it, but peeling it is better. Not necessarily because of digestion, but because the outside might be contaminated. You're certainly removing bad stuff if you peel it. And I'm mainly eating this cucumber for minerals, things that you can't really get from animal products, medicinal purposes, hydration. Remember, this is a fruit that has no negative aspects. And if you want to know more about positive and negative aspects of food, which is an essential thing when it comes to nutrition, which no one talks about except me, I've come up with all of this to make it easier to understand nutrition, then watch this video. It's very good. Seriously, you need to understand this stuff, because then you'll be able to compare different foods. You'll understand when you should eat a certain food and how foods should actually be looked at, how a diet should actually be looked at. And here we've got the next meal. We've got some raw ground beef, some raw butter, and some raw fermented milk. Nothing special, fulfills the same purpose as the last meal because it's the exact same meal, obviously. Usually people ask me about variety. They say that, well, since you're eating the same thing every day, it must get boring, right? Well, I don't care about variety. You see, this meal is delicious. This is absolutely delicious. Like, I'm recording a full day of eating. Do you know how hard that is? Like, before I eat this meal, I need to record it first, and I need to set up the camera and the mic. And so I need to stare at this bowl without eating it. And I eat this every day. And again, who cares about variety? I only care about health. That's the only important thing, really. I mean, our ancestors, they didn't sit there and go, oh, we need more variety in our diet. No, 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 no. They said we need food, and they didn't care about which food it was. As long as it was food that was available to them, they consumed it. And obviously, they preferred the animal foods because they're the most delicious, and they recognized that it made them the strongest and most fertile. This is your little ASMR segment. I decided not to make a video because 52% wanted me to make normal videos instead of that video. And so, if that's the case, then sure. Alright, this is the next day. I ate more cucumber than I showed you. I ate cucumber 3 times because it hydrates, it has no negative aspects, at least that I know of. And if you're trying to lose weight, filling your diet with foods like tomato and cucumber, I mean, that's the biggest hack I can give you. Because you're eating something that's quite alright taste-wise, and it fills up your stomach. Not that I'm trying to lose weight, it's just that these foods are very, very healthy. They're very good for your blood, especially if you eat a lot of animal products and you detoxify a lot, which obviously you will do if you get enough nutrients. I also drank 2 glasses of raw milk outside of the camera, but it wasn't too much. I mean, what you saw is generally what I ate, and I ate 2 meals because I only eat when I'm hungry. I don't eat more than that because I think it's unnecessary. If I was trying to gain weight, I would eat more, but my body generally gives me the signal to eat more. Like, I go through periods where I feel like I can eat more, and then I do gain weight. And then I go through periods where I don't feel like eating that much, so I go down in weight. So I cycle up and down naturally. If you feel like these videos are just as helpful as my normal informative videos, then give this video a like and tell me that you like these kinds of videos, because I'll make one more often because it's generally very easy to record. I just record everything that I eat instead of thinking and thinking and thinking, so that I can deliver a complex piece of information in a very simple manner that is easy to comprehend for the general population, because again, that's what I'm trying to do here. And the last thing is, I don't think many people in my audience need weight loss advice, but if you're struggling with weight loss and you're here for that, then please tell me. Tell me that you're struggling with weight loss. Again, you can work with me if you want to. Just send me an email and we can set something up. I'll make a weight loss video for you if you want that. With that said, go and achieve excellent health. I know you can do it.